So, one of the pieces that we want you listening to this week, watching this week, is actually a poem entitled Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. Guys, Maya Angelou is one of the most well known American poets in recent history. She passed away not so long ago. She is a novelist. She's written prolifically with regard to poetry. She is certainly worth your time. Some of her best works are her early novels, in my opinion. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Some of you moving on to Honors 10 in college probably will be even more exposed to her. So we are going to first work with her poem, Still I Rise. Guys, we could ask you to read it just as written word, but I don't think that would work as effectively. I think watching her and listening to her, Maya Angelou, deliver her own poem is worth it. I want you paying attention to her facial expressions. That's why the extreme close-up works here. Listen to her vocal tones. I think about how many of you are masters of sarcasm. Yeah, Elijah, Miguel, I'm talking about you, Gilly. Maya Angelou is a master of also subtle sarcasm. So capture that. And then eventually, physically, she'll start using her body to also convey meaning. So away we go. Understand what you can. The title itself, Still I Rise, should give you a hint as to how this is going to show grit and resilience.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise.
Okay, so there's a lot to talk about already. I just love her facial expressions. She's making clear what she's thinking. Guys, she's talking about other people writing us down in history, and they might write us down with lies. They might judge us. They might mischaracterize us. I think about how writing today is so often social media and what people post about us. And so often that's never 100% the truth. So she's saying, let people do whatever they want, let them write their dirt kind of thing. The symbolism is obvious. But she says, just like dirt, think about a windy day. If you're running through dirt, those of you who play baseball, softball kind of thing, you know that. If it's a really, really dry field diamond, it's going to be flying all over. She says, just as inevitably as that dirt will rise, treat me like dirt. She says, I too will rise.
Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like
So she's playing to her audience there, shifting her body around a little bit, and there's some power to that. When she writes about having oil wells in her living room, she did not grow up rich at all. She was born into a family. Mom was a slave. Maya Angelou was assaulted in the worst kind of ways when she was young. She was in service when she was young. Guys, she's had the most awful kind of life. But she says she still has the self respect that she walks through life as if she's rich, like she has oil wells. She's oil rich, and she has them in her house, in her living room. So, no matter what her monetary status is, no matter how the world is treating her, she's going to still walk through the world like she owns it. So, I think about Bronx Masquerade and all of our conversations about people boxing us, stereotyping us. She says, let them stereotype me. I don't care. I'm just going to walk like I'm a woman who owns the world. There's power in that.
moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you?
Now, she went to some nature symbols, nature metaphors, examples. Just like the sun comes up every day, just like you can't control the tides of the water, the oceans, she is always going to be resilient. She's always going to bounce back. She's always going to rise. Guys, I wonder how many of us in this very chaotic, uncertain time are 100% certain down to our soul that we're still going to rise up. I hope you're each getting to that state. I hope you know it deep down to your core that you're going to be okay. That's what she's talking about.
You want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh, as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard.
Okay, so we're going to pause there. The first part of what I just played, she was acting the role, the facial expressions of what the world might want her to be. You are a poor Black woman born into nothing. Please act your place, kind of thing. So she acknowledges that the world might want me to act pitiful, to be pitied. The world might want me to act poor, to be that woman who doesn't have power, but she just will not accept that. And now you see that spark of sassiness, and she even uses the word sassy. She's like daring the world, put me down all you want, call me whatever you want, think that I should be acting a certain way. I'm going to be me regardless.
You can shoot me with your words. You can cut me with your lies. You can kill me with your hatefulness. But just like life, I rise.
So in her tone, there were some shifts when she's talking about killing me and cutting me with lies. I mean, that's really bold kind of language if you think about it. And she says they're going to slash at me, they're going to hurt me. She doesn't care. And notice the smile here that she has as she repeats her refrain. She's still going to keep coming back up. She doesn't care what people dish her. She doesn't care what life gives her. She's still going to come back up, rise up.
Does my sexiness offend you? Oh.
Ooh la la.
Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs?
Okay, so I know students always get uncomfortable when teachers talk about sexuality and the fact that we're physical beings, but we are physical people. And you guys are at that beginning stages of dating and getting to know yourself in that way. Guys, this is so the mom in me, but why would you not value yourself as if you are some rare kind of diamond and make somebody earn you, make somebody work in order to be close to you, respect yourself enough to know that you yourself are valuable and you're not going to share yourself easily, kind of thing. Lecture over.
Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise.
So some repetition, up from and then up from again. So we went from the sexuality to history, and now she's getting very serious. She's talking about her Black heritage. She's talking about where her people come from. And now she's not just talking for herself as an individual, but she's talking about her people also and where they have come from.
A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise.
So the Black ocean and her actions that accompany it, the Black ocean that is a tide, and the movement of the water she was trying to convey. Also, it's almost a double entendre. She's referencing historically how Blacks came to be here on slave ships, guys. We know our history kind of thing. But she wasn't acting meek. She wasn't acting tortured. She wasn't being the chained slave. She talked about where her ancestors come from. Instead, she was encompassing the arms were wide. She was talking about the tide that is the Black people, the tide that is Black history kind of thing. And it's alive and it's joyful, and that wave can't be stopped. For a while, maybe in America especially, that Black tide was held back. She's saying it's going to wash over. It's going to be free. It's kind of beautiful imagery.
Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, wow, there I go.
If any of you have that grandma or grandpa who's a Spitfire, when I think about myself being 80, 85, 90, I hope to heaven I'm still a Spitfire and jumping out of planes and riding four-wheelers and all that jazz. She gives me the impression that she was a Spitfire right up to the end. And maybe a few of you will get curious and dig into who Maya Angelou was. There's plenty of YouTube videos about that. So she ends her poem on that high note, and she's talking about generations at the end, and she talks about the power of generations. Her ancestors may have come over as slaves, oh my gosh, look at her. And she's one of the world's most renowned poets, kind of thing. So she broke the cycle. I think about our reading of Part Time Indian in Junior's cycle. I think about Happy Face and that kind of depressive cycle that he's gotten himself into. Life is all about us getting caught in these cycles and then choosing to break out of them and not be stereotyped, not be boxed. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want anybody to be able to easily say, well, she's this, and then walk away and not think about it again. We want to be a great many things. We want to break cycles. We want to break stereotypes. We want to break boxes. And that's what Maya Angelou is talking about in Still I Rise. So kind of a different choice for this week, but I hope that you enjoy it. And if anybody wants to geek it up and pursue some other Maya Angelou work and you want to live chat or you want to exchange thoughts via email, go ahead and live it up. I'm always here. Take care, guys.